We are recording the presentation. First and foremost, welcome to today's webinar, guys. My name is Sean Kozak. I'm the CEO of Tickblaze, and this is a marketplace presentation. Um, we hold these events to educate traders, build systems and strategies, provide software and resources to trade with, and then majorly just to solve problems, right? One of the biggest things that we look to do as a development firm with the platform is to provide apps for traders so that you can make your lives a lot easier, more profitable, more successful. And today, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be diving into the realm of support and resistance. And we're going to be using a proprietary tool called the GoldenFibs indicator. Now, for those of you that have been with us since the inception of our companies over the last decade, many of you guys remember this. We've built this software on other platforms. And there's a really, really big story behind this because this isn't just some levels tool. This isn't just some piece of software that plots a line on your chart. There's a multi-timeframe algorithm that is next to impossible to reproduce. In fact, when we acquired the software years and years ago from the developers who built the engine for us, what it is it's a mathematical framework of using Fibonacci and being able to bring Fibonacci confluence together. Now, why would we want to do this? Well, when we use software, there's things that we can do manually, and there's just things that we physically can't do to ourselves. Like we're human beings, we're not computers. We can't do certain things. That's why we have computers, right? But in what we're going to be doing today is going to blow you away because what we do behind the scenes using Fibonacci mathematics, multi-time frame processing, we're going to take any single chart that you trade, any single bar type, any single time frame, and we are going to put lines on your chart that I assure you stop price. Like if you're a reversal trader, you put this on your chart, it is going to blow you away. If you're a trend trader, you put this on the chart, you are never going to fear pullbacks ever again when you trade the levels of confluence. Now, we are using Fibonacci. This is not market structure. This is not supply or demand. This is not support or resistance. This is Fibonacci. And we're going to show this behind the scenes. We're going to show you what's really going on under the hoods because once you see how to use it, you're never going to want to trade any system without it because it's going to make everything you do 10 times stronger. How many of you guys would agree that Confluence is a very powerful thing used correctly? How many of you guys think that when you line a bunch of things up and you line them all together and they all come together at one time, you can create really, really, really big reactions in the market? Okay. Well, that's exactly the whole foundation of what we're going to do today. Okay. Now we are recording it. If you have any questions, put them in the chat box. My team will help here as we go through this. But let's get into it. We're going to do a big demo and we're going to do a lot on the charts today. We're going to do some strategy conversations. We're going to talk about how to trade with it, how to use it, how to set it up, etc. And then tomorrow we're going to be doing a boot camp for all of the traders using the system so that you guys can work with our teams behind the scenes. Make sense? So let's cover a quick disclaimer. We are in the risk business, right? Trading is a business of risk. And therefore, if you are trading, please note that I can't guarantee you performance, nor would I want to. If you are trading, please do so at your own discretion, and past performance never guarantees future results. We're here to basically provide value, guys, and education. If you do trade, just know there's risks in the business. Please type a Y in the chat box. You understand and accept the disclaimer so we can move forward. Make sense? Fantastic. So the goal here today is to give you a product that is so clean that literally you could take everything off of your charts and just trade this. On top of that, if you're trading any other system, the goal would be to put this on your charts because you won't want to trade any other setup without this. You're going to see what we're doing with these levels and what we're doing with this software is it'll blow you away. Like how we can set this up using multi-time frames, what we can do from pulling bigger picture levels into the smaller time frame chart. The goal is to give you two things. One, it's a tool that you can enhance everything you're already trading with. Or two, it's a strategy system on its own. Literally, there's two ways to trade this software. There's trend trades and there's reversal trades. We're going to teach you both today, and that way you can leave here with the strategies and the trading plan and the rules and the execution. Normally, I don't do that in webinars. I leave that to the boot camp, but I want to leave you with a lot today so that you guys can really understand why I feel so strongly about this software. It actually holds a place in my heart because years and years and years ago, many moons ago, I used to run trading rooms before I hired all of our staff and our instructors and our educators, and I never traded without this on my charts. Like I personally, when I ran trading rooms years ago in order flow rooms and stuff, like I wouldn't trade without these on my charts. And that was back before we owned Tickblaze and before we acquired everything and expanded. This was back in the Ninja Trader days. For many of you guys that have been with me years and years and years ago, I'm sure there's a few of you old timers in here that remember that. And so we're going to talk exactly, Nicholas, exactly the GoldenFibs. Yes. So what's really powerful is that we were able to update the APIs inside of Tickblaze to allow us to code the custom engine in the backend. It is not a simple piece of software to build because of the calculations it's done under the hood. And we weren't actually able to build this in other platforms. Like before we had Tickblaze, we actually weren't able to code it in other platforms because the platforms were too restrictive. There wasn't a way for us to build it inside of the platform. So we're really excited because we now can offer this in Tickblaze, which is a massive, massive competitive advantage for all traders. So we're not here to give you any snake oil. This isn't some shiny object. I'm not here to give you fluff, guys. I'm going to teach you strategies today. I'm going to show you how to use it. I'm going to show you how to set it up, trade it, and basically benefit from that. Does that sound like a plan? The key here is that anybody can do this. I really believe that anybody here can use this software. This is not meant for difficult concepts. This is really, really going to be a breath of fresh air for everybody. Give me a yes if that makes sense to you. Okay. So when you're using analysis, I'm going to just talk about this for a sec because this is a real problem. Most people, when they use Fibonacci, they don't really have a clue on how to use it. Drawing just a Fibonacci retracement is one thing, but if you're going to truly understand Fibonacci and understand what it's built to do, there's Fibonacci retracements, there's extensions, there's measured moves, there's alternates. There's a lot of different ways in which Fibonacci can be used mathematically. 90% of traders don't even understand what's available to them. And they don't even realize that there's a lot of mathematical certainties happening on different time frames, right? You may be trading on a smaller time frame and then all of a sudden a higher time frame kicks in, or then even a bigger time frame kicks in. And what ends up happening is that traders try to build a thesis on their charts. They'll mark up their charts, they'll use multi-time frames. You end up basically just second guessing everything you're doing because, oh, I know from experience, like, one day the 5 minute chart works, then the next day it doesn't. Then the 1 minute chart works and then it doesn't. And then the 30-minute chart, and then it goes to a Renko, and then everybody's flip-flopping all over the place, right? The goal here is to remove that headache because when you understand, it doesn't really matter what time frame you're trading on, what bar type you're trading. If you have a tool that works on anything, that's a powerful thing, right? Like if I could give you a piece of software that you could apply it to any time frame, any bar type, any market, and literally it will just do what you need it to do. How many of you guys would agree that that's not normal? I mean, you can't do that with every other system. You can't do that with order flow. You can't do that with supply and demand. You can't do that with volume profile. You can't do that. There's only certain ways to use other concepts. This software literally is the most flexible piece of code that we have ever built. And the power behind it is going to blow you away. Okay. Now, I am going to talk to you about the aspect of Fibonacci. Today, you're going to hear how we use it. Okay. You are going to hear what the software is designed to do and how it works. We're going to spend a lot of time on multi-time frame Fibonacci levels. This is the secret sauce, guys. Like this truly is secret sauce. These levels are yesterday's levels. I took these screenshots. My team actually built this PowerPoint a couple days ago, but I actually replaced this image today because this is less yesterday's levels. And we're going to show them today. You're going to see today's levels and you're going to see every day's levels. This is a Renko chart, right? This is literally a 5-tick Renko bar. And how many of you guys would want to know? Yes, this is multi-time frame. It uses single time frame. It uses multi-time frame. How many of you guys would agree that those are powerful levels? Like, look where the market stopped. Like, where did the big move happen? exactly at those levels. Now, what time frame do you think those levels are from? I'm on a Renko chart. I'm on a Renko time frame. That is a Renko. Let me just pull this up here. Look at that. This is a Renko bar. That's a small day trading time frame. What time frame do you think those levels are from? Anybody here want to guess? No, the 4 hour chart. Those are pulled from 4 hour Fibonacci confluence sequencing. Yeah. You can do things with this software that you cannot do anywhere else. I promise you, it's going to blow you away. It's going to make what you do work. If you're a scalper, you are going to have levels that are going to just, it's going to be incredible. I can't wait to show you this. This is exciting. Okay. So yes, we're giving away free software. Yes, we're going to show you the strategies. Yes, we're going to give you a super cool discount. And anybody that has ever bought this software on other platforms, we have a special coupon for you. If you're looking to use it on Tickblaze, we will set you, we will send you a special deal. Many of you guys bought this years and years and years ago on a different platform. Now that it's available on Tickblaze, we're going to give you a super coupon. Okay. So that way you guys can check your emails on that. Perfect. So let's talk about this. What this software is designed to do is give you the exact zones before you trade them. This is leading. So let me share with you about something. I'm going to open up a chart here. Let's just do this for a second. Okay. The whole purpose of this software or this code, let me share this with you. I'm just going to grab a cursor here. Okay. The whole purpose of this, if I'm sitting here, okay, and Mark is trading here, right? And I'm sitting here right here. Okay, that's the market open, right? This software is going to plot levels in advance so that you can see where the market is going to turn before it gets there. It is 100% forecasting. It will tell you where the market is going and where it is not going in advance. It is using multi-timeframe sequencing. So what does that mean? It's piecing together 5 different fib software pieces. Okay, what does that mean? Well, you've got Fibonacci retracements. You've got Fibonacci extensions, where you basically have extensions. You have alternates, right? You have measured moves. Fibonacci is designed in many, many different ways. What we do is we bring all of them together into a bullseye where basically you get everything lining up. When everything lines up at once, it gives you everything all on the chart at the right level. You won't have to use anything else for support and resistance. In fact, I would render supply and demand and support resistance and order blocks and fair value gaps and all the shit that you hear by the retail. None of that will stack up against this. I will put money on the line that if you bring me a guy that's going to tell me they've got support and resistance dialed down, I will smoke them out of the water with this software. Why? I just know what's doing. I just know what's under the hood. I know what the software is designed to build and how it works and what it's calculating. So you'll know how to enter because I'm going to show you how to calculate the entries. We're going to show you how to place your stop losses so that you don't have to worry. This is where big levels are going to be moving the market. You're going to have the ability to have scalp levels, and then I'm going to put the micro and macro levels. So the way I like to do this is we're going to create micro levels, and then we're going to create macro levels. And what's really cool is that you can do both on the same chart. You can add the indicator twice and you can set up the settings differently so that you can have big reversal levels on your charts at all time. And then you can have the little levels in between, which is going to give you the opportunity to scalp and trade area to area. If you're a pullback trader, this is going to be great for you. If you're a reversal trader, this is going to be a superior solution than probably you've ever seen before. And you will never have to draw anything. It automatically paints for you. It draws for you. All you need to know is how to enter and manage your trades. Does that make sense? This is 100% plotting on your charts from an automated perspective. It does everything for you. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to worry. Just you put it on your charts, you set it up, and then we trade it. Okay. So um, what it's doing, and this is what's really important to understand, is that the engine in the background. I mean, how many of you guys know the difference between a Honda Civic and a Ferrari? Yeah. What's the difference between a Honda Civic and a Ferrari? Anybody here want to give me their perspective on that? I'm serious when I ask this question. It's the engine, Leon says. What's under the hood? The power. Yes. The engineering. Okay. What we're doing is we're using 300 days of Fibonacci levels. 300 days. That's almost 2 years of trading history. Okay. Why 300? I don't know. It was just originally built like the developers, the mathematics behind it. It just works better. 300 days of data. It's using 10 internal timeframes. 10 internal timeframes. It looks at retracements, extensions, expansions, continuations, projections, and measured moves. I lied. It's not five, it's six in one, not five. And the goal is that imagine if every single time you see a level on your chart, underneath, you know that you're using 300 days plus 10 time frames plus six different Fibonacci tools, all lining up to give you the most badass level you could possibly trade in the history of time. It works on everything, George. There is no market this one where you can put this on a Bitcoin, you can put this on a shitcoin, you could do this, you could put this on a Forex pair, an exotic, you could put this on a small cap, a large, anything you possibly can trade, this will calculate as long as there's data. That's the power behind this. There is no limitation to this. Okay. But imagine this, every time you see a level on a chart, knowing there's 300 days, 10 time frames, and six measurements of Fibonacci going in to plot that level. This isn't some line in the sand, guys. This is a mathematical edge that doesn't exist ever. And I'm here to show you how it works. Okay. So when you have these levels, okay, you are going to have the opportunity, okay, you're going to have the opportunity to trade them as a trend trader or as a reversal trader. We are going to show you when to trade the reversals and when to trade the trends, when to trade the trends, when to trade the trends, when to fade the reversal. We are going to show you this because there's strategy around this and how to use it, how to set the settings. Not all levels are created equal, so I'm going to show you how to set them up. What's nice is that you can filter the weak and the low levels. So if you look at supply and demand, how many of you guys have heard of supply and demand before? Yes. So supply and demand versus GoldenFibs. Okay. That's the question. Right? One would say, oh, supply and demand is the king of the market. Well, I'm here to tell you that there is no way in human history, there is a way to calculate which supply and demand is more powerful than the next. You don't know if a demand zone is going to be more powerful than the next demand zone or the supply zone is going to be more powerful than the next supply zone. There is no way for you to validate the strength or the efficiency of a level. You basically get in and you hope it works. So therefore, supply and demand is shit, in my opinion, because what we can do with GoldenFibs is I can turn these into more powerful levels. I can increase the strength setting. I can increase the fractal. I can increase the time frame. I have control over making more powerful levels. I can increase the number of levels. I can reduce the number of levels. I have power using the GoldenFibs, whereas everything else you draw a fair value gap for all of you SMC traders in here or market structure guys, or you guys look at order blocks or whatever. I'm here to tell you that you don't know whether or not those levels are going to hold. Nobody does. With GoldenFibs, I know with a very, very high degree of certainty which levels are going to move the market, and I can change the settings to determine that. So I'm here to share with you that this is going to be something that is going to enhance everything you're doing. How many of you guys would like software on your charts that shows you exactly where the market's going to turn every single day? Yes? No? This isn't some sales pitch, guys. I'm being real serious with you. There's a lot of tools out there that you can buy or not buy. There is nothing that is going to do what we are about to show you here today. Okay. So let me kind of share with you some secret sauce. Okay. Under the hood, what this does, this looks at thousands of calculations. The goal is for us to turn those calculations into Confluence. This picture doesn't really do the justice because it's really only showing you one time frame. Let me show you what's really going on behind the scenes. Take a look at this. That's what's going on inside of the engine. Inside of the engine, we are plotting thousands and thousands of levels across 10 different time frames, across 300 days of data. And you can see down here where all these different colors line up. All these different colors are different Fibonacci sequences where they really come together. You can see where really big levels are stopping the market versus just regular small lines. So what we're doing is we're calculating confluence using multi-time frame processing, using multi-Fibonacci processing, and we're bringing it into confluence. And the goal is that every single time that you see one of these levels, I want you to put a six in your brain, right? I want you to put a six in your brain. Why? Because there's six levels of Fibonacci going on. And I also want you to remember there's 300 days and 10 time frames to plot those levels. Does that make sense? Like, this isn't a joke. Like, this isn't just me drawing on your chart. The market will react off these levels. That is a fact. And therefore, how do you trade it? How do you make money? Well, it's as clean as this. How many of you guys can see this is yesterday? This is yesterday's image. Look at the reaction. Like, it just does what it does, guys. It's clean. It's efficient. It works and it makes big money. Why? Because they're using multi-time frames and it's using multi-Fibonacci. And I have the ability, I can take a Renko chart and a Renko time frame, and I can apply 5 minute levels, 15-minute levels, 30-minute levels, 4 hour levels. I can make big reversal levels or I can create trend levels. This is the key. This is the key. And so when you look at this, okay, we're going to get into this. This is the difference. These was yesterday's charts on the NASDAQ and the Russell. This was an image from yesterday. These levels were 5 minute levels. So what you're seeing on the NASDAQ is these levels were the 5 minute levels that were being used on the 5 minute chart. All I was doing is taking 5 minute sequencing and applying it on a 5 minute chart. On the Russell, I took a Renko chart and these are 4 hour levels. Like, you can take whatever you choose and do whatever you choose with the software. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to choose the right path. I'm going to show you how to set this up. How many of you guys are excited? Give me a yes that this is kind of exciting you, that this is kind of, wow, okay, like this is interesting, breath of fresh air, something completely what I wasn't thinking. I need to know where your head's at because I promise you that most of you guys have seen everything under the sun. There's no, we're here to give you some shiny object. This is where you really get to have fun as a trader. Um, don't worry, it's not expensive, Velocity Vigor. We've got something exciting for you guys today. Don't you worry. Okay. So today, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do something different. Many times when I do these webinars, I don't really do a lot of deep dive into strategy. I reserve that till later. Today, I'm going to change it up a bit. We're going to go deep into strategy today, so I can teach you how to use this and actually really make a lot of money using the software. Okay. So let me get into it. Let's go and let's get into the charts. Okay. Let's go in here. So first of all, what I want to do is I want to show you a concept. Okay. So let's take a look at today. This is the S&P on a 5 minute. Okay. This is today on the S&P. I can literally just take Fibonacci retracements. Okay. And I can just start drawing them. I can just do this all day long, just the retracements. There's a level there. There's a level there. There's a level there. I could take it from here to here all the way up. You guys get the point, right? Then I can come in here and I can do Fibonacci extensions. I can come here and I could draw it, boom, boom, there's one, boom, boom, there's another, and I can, you guys get the point, right? Can you imagine doing this over, and you got to remember there's a zigzag in the market. So what we can do is we can see there's a market structure algorithm inside of here. What it's doing is we can change the zigzag like this, or I could do a zigzag like that, and I can go one, boom, boom, boom. You guys understand what I'm doing here. I'm showing you that the way in which the market has a lens can be changed from swing strength to zigzag calculation to very, very loud versus very noisy versus non-noisy. And all I'm here to do is all of this is going on inside of this. So let's go in here. This is a 5 minute chart, okay, of the NASDAQ. What's really cool about this is that you come in and I'm gonna show you what we're gonna do here. It's all inside of uh the algorithm. There's nothing else. So this is what I mean by a monkey could do this. Now I'm not trying to offend anybody, and if you have a pet monkey, I'm sorry. But I just want to share with you there's only two things you need to do. Okay, two things. One is you pick your time frame, and two is you choose the strength of your levels. Okay, does everybody see this? There is two things you can do. You can choose the time frame, and then you can choose the swing strength of the Fibonacci multi-timeframe sequencing. Everything else is done automatically under the hood. So let me show you what I mean by this. If I wanted to put the 5 minute levels on this chart, let's go back here. That's what the 5 minute levels look like. If I want to go from smallest to largest, let's say I want to go the 5 minute. So remember, these are now I'm using 300 days of 5 minute charts. So these levels are all calculated 300 days from the 5 minute charts. Does everybody understand that? I am able to go smallest, which means I can have really, really, really insignificant levels on the chart, or I could go all the way up to large or largest, and I can show that these are the 5 minute levels. Okay. Does that make sense to you? What I can do now, though, is I could say, listen, I don't want to trade the 5 minute levels. I want only the strongest levels. I want to go to, let's say, the 30-minute chart. And I only want to have the largest 30-minute levels on my chart. That's the 30-minute levels. So look at yesterday. Like this is a 30-minute fib level. This is a 30-minute fib level. This was the 30-minute level. This is today's 30-minute level. This was 30-minute level. They're going for this one. Now, I'm going to teach you how to enter these trades. You don't just blindly put a limit order. These are key areas of interest. But tell me the market's not stopping on these levels. Yes or no? Would you agree that this is pretty powerful information? Yes? You're on a 5 minute chart. You're pulling 30-minute, 300 days of 30-minute Fibonacci levels. I can come in here and I can even make it the smallest. I could pull the 30-minute smaller levels if I choose to. From a day trading perspective, okay, this is what you can do is you can trade them as a scalping level. Every time you get into these levels, these are all scalps. So I'm going to show you how to scalp these. You can basically understand if I'm in an uptrend, EMA's crossing, okay, I don't trade the red, I trade the blue on the pullbacks. 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 I don't trade against the trend. If you're looking for the big reversals, then I always go in. If you're a reversal trader, not all of these levels are meant for reversals. Your goal is to really dial this in. If I'm looking for the reversals, I'm going to the 4 hour chart, which is a 2 hour. I'm going to the big bad boys. I'm going to the largest of the largest 4 hour time frame. And look, it's too big of a time frame. I'm going to go down to the large. I'm going to see here. I'm going to go down here to, I might not have enough days loaded. Let's go here to increase. Let's go here. Give me a second here. One second. Let's take a look here and Fibonacci. Let's do the 60. Try that. Might not have enough days here. There we go. There's the 60-minute levels. I need to load more data. Okay. Do you understand that? I can go in here and I could load 60-minute charts. I could put the applied data on here. That's the 60-minute levels. Okay. So you can put multiple instances of this. So can you run? Yes, you can. Let's say you want to have big, big levels. Absolutely. And let's say you want to color them differently. So let's do that. We'll go in here and let's change the plots. I'm only going to have these are going to be the yellow bad boys. I'm going to put them as yellow. Okay. So we're going to go here, yellow and black. Those are going to be the big reversals. Yes. So those are going to be my big, big reversals. Okay. So if I get to these levels, I'm going to wait for an EMA cross. I'm going to wait for an EMA cross, wait for a sweep of liquidity, wait for divergence on those levels. Whatever you're going to choose to time your entry, we're going to talk about how. You don't just fade a level. These are big time frame levels. Okay. When you get to these levels, you look for certain things to happen. You look for key areas of interest. Look for things to take place. Okay. You're not just going to put a blind order in and say, oh, I hope it holds. We're going to talk about how to time it. But then what you can do is you can come in here and you can add the software back again. Let's go back and find GoldenFibs. There it is. Okay. Let's go back and add it back again. Let's go in here. And let's say I want to add the 5-minute and I want to put it to the largest 5-minute swings. Make sense? I never change the grid strength. I always leave it on strong. Okay. And let's put them on the chart. Okay. Now here's what you have is you've got levels inside. Take a look at how clean those were. These are the 5-minute levels inside of the 5-minute chart. And then I got the big bad boys on your chart. You see this? Now take a look at what happened down here. We came into a massive level, was also backed up by the 5-minute, but we came in and look at the trend trades. Look at the trend trades all the way up on those levels. Now, the way that I like to do this is every time we get to an area, okay? I mean, I don't know about you, but like that's pretty damn accurate. Like we're stopping right on the levels here. Like that's pretty key. I mean, it's pretty impressive stuff. And I'm blown away by what the software is able to do. But let me share with you how I like to teach traders how to enter these areas. There's a tool in here called the horizontal zone. Why do I like the horizontal zone? It's because I can come in here and I can basically just draw a little bit above it and a little bit below it. I like to create an area above and below. Why? Because I like to pretend there's this magical force field around every level that I call the buffer zones. And why? Because every time you get to an area of interest, it's not an exact science. The market doesn't know what you're doing. But we know what the market's doing because this tool is using multi-timeframe sequencing. And so I would expect that when I get to this area, around the area, around the area, around the area, around the area, we are going to get what we call reactions. If you're trying to be perfect every time and time the tick, that's a dangerous way of running a business. Okay. So what I do is I like to come in, I like to draw the zones. Okay. Just like this. And just like this. And just like this. Why? Why? Because now I know that I have buffer zones on my chart. And so when I get to a buffer zone, look at the, I can explain why the buffer zone is so powerful, is that when you look at how you want to trade, okay, there's two ways to trade. Let's talk strategy. Okay. One is you set big reversal levels. This is, you should set up a template. And two, you set smaller day trade levels. Okay. Three, set your buffer zones. Okay. And then how you enter. So for reversals, use EMA crosses. It's that simple. You don't need to do anything else. You put a couple EMAs on your chart, wait for the market to rotate, and then get back on the reversal when the EMA crosses. Okay. For trend trades, you trade the buffer zone on the pullback. Let me show you what that means. So everybody take a screenshot. This is for you guys. This is literally as simple as it needs to be. When I get to a major level like this, remember, this is a 60-minute level. Okay, it's a 60-minute level. You can see here I got two EMAs on the chart. It's that simple. We get down, we come in, we get a reaction. Sure, you could get there's a bounce trade there, and sure there's a bounce trade there, and sure there's another bounce trade there. The market is going to come down these levels. But where the market transitioned was right here. The market came in, hit the level, and left, right? That was the beginning of today's trend, right? That was the beginning of today's trend. But if we're going to trade up and we're going to keep going, no, you don't fade that. That's not a reversal. Those are day trade levels. Remember, those are from the 5-minute chart. We pulled that from the 5-minute chart. That is not strong enough for me to expect massive reversals from. They're not higher time frame levels. Remember, this is not a reversal. That's not a reversal. Those are reactions. This is a reversal, right? That is a key level. How we trade the actual trend trades. Market's coming like this. Market's coming up, push, 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 push. As soon as we close above it, just like this, and we pull back into it, you just buy it. You just buy that. You take those trades, you write it up. Market comes back, right? You buy it. You buy the pullbacks, wait for it to cross. We're not trading that. Wait for it. Wait for it to get above right here. Boom. Right? That is the trade. You can enter right here. You can enter anywhere inside of here. As it got above, you enter on the pullback and it reacts and it's holding. And then it's going to get up here. As soon as we get to a massive level, which take a look at this. You can see this before we get there. This is what I mean by leading. I can see if we're going to have a massive reversal, it's going to be here. It could have been here. The market's going to tell us that. That's a trend trade right there on the way back up. Push, trend trade, push, trend trade, push. Does this make sense, guys? Yesterday, the EMAs I'm using, I mean, there's nothing fancy. I'm using an 8 and a 21. Nothing crazy. I mean, this is incredible, Victor. Yes, this is incredible. This is why I'm telling you this is mathematics behind the scenes. Okay. So let me explain this. When we go from level to level, this is how you trade. This is how I would trade this. And this is why I built it. When I get to a massive level for reversal, that's a 60-minute reversal level. Yeah. I'm going to trade the reversal out of there, put the stop below the low. Okay. Here's the thing. If I took the reversal here, okay, my stop's not going right here. Okay. My stop is not going right here. You want to know why? Because I'm going to measure this Fibonacci to this Fibonacci. That is where the market's going next. So I am going to basically use that as my risk and reward. I am not just putting a stop loss. So I would literally look at my risk and reward on this from yesterday's reversal, wait for the crossover, and that would be my stop loss right there, right? That would be where I put my stop loss. If I'm trying to get bigger targets, I can come in and I can have bigger targets, right? I can do a 1-to-1, I can do 2-to-1, I can set this to 3-to-1. And you can see that the Fibonacci's are your targets, guys, as well as your entries. That is the whole point of using the fibs. And so if I come in here and I take a look at this, if I'm looking at trading the trend all the way down, and let's say you missed the reversal, let's say you didn't catch this, or you weren't at your desk because you weren't here and you weren't here, but you can see we came off of a major reversal level and you're like, okay, well, how do I trade this? Well, you trade it with the trend. Until we get to a major reversal level, you trade it with the trend. Well, how do I trade it with the trend? You basically use the horizontal zones. You create your buffers, create your buffers. As soon as we get on the other side of every single level, right, you short it. There's your short. Boom. As soon as we get down here, as soon as we got on the other side of this right here, as soon as we close below it, that's your short. Why? Well, we're going to target the next fib level. That's what the market's doing. It's going from level to level. And You can use whatever stop you choose to, Victor. I'm not here to tell you risk management. That's a choice. I'm just telling you how not to avoid getting, I mean, you can, if I were to take a reversal trade here, okay, right? They were just building a big position off this level. That's all they did. This is a stop run. This is just a liquidity sweep on a stop run. That's all this is. Fueling the pump off the big level. This is all to do with the big level, right? So you don't need to use a 5 minute. You can use a 1 minute. You can use a Renko. Like if we want to switch this to a Renko chart, let's just take a look at what it looks like on a Renko chart. You could combine this with Striker, Christian, and it would be killer. Yeah, it would be absolutely freaking killer. Yeah, if you're using Striker profiles, this would be insanely crazy. Yes. So let's do this. Let's go into the Renkos, okay? And let's just change this to a the Renkos here for a second. Let's go to Renko BXT. Let's just change this to like a 50 tick bar and a 100 tick reversal and a 40 tick offset. Yeah, let's just do that. Let's just change the reversals. Yes, I'm just going to see how it looks on a Renko chart. I love Renko bars. I just remember the Nasdaq's got lots of data, so give it a sec. It's got to load the tick data. How many of you guys are excited about this? Like, I get excited because I know what the software is capable of doing. Like, there's very few tools that I would ever want to use for levels software. And oh yeah, not sure why it's taking so long to download, but we'll give it a second. The Nasdaq's got lots of tick data, so maybe I have too many days loaded. Nasdaq always takes forever to load, but Lauren says I want to get this really useful. Yeah, you don't have to draw anything. Yeah, you don't have to draw anything. Yeah, you don't have to do anything. It's super, super flexible. Yeah, super easy. So we'll just give it a second. I loaded data for the Nasdaq. I'm just hopefully it loads and mhm. Yeah, I'm not sure. Could have been just the server. Um, there it is. Remember, the Nasdaq's got lots of tick data, and I have many days that I was loading. So the NQ is ES and NQ have tons of ticks. You can load the Russell and you can load the crude oil and gold a lot faster, but these markets are very thick. Hmm. Anybody have any questions while I'm doing this? Anybody have any questions while I'm doing this? While I'm just waiting for the data load, I want to show you the Renkos look like. It's really powerful. There they are. Yeah. Let's take a look at this. Like that's a pretty small Renko bar, 50 tick Renko bar. But you guys can understand, like when we get down to these levels, like these are crazy good trades. Like every single time you get down to one of these levels off of these areas, you can literally just take a Renko reversal bar. Like if you're a scalper and you're just waiting to scalp the best of the best levels, like tell me you can. Tickblaze is free. You do not have to purchase Tickblaze. Tickblaze is a free platform. You can buy the apps though. So here's the level here. You could literally wait for the EMA to cross, put your stop below the low, and that's a 2-to-1 trade. Same thing down here. You can put your stop below the pivot, just get a bounce. Here, get a reversal, put your stop. That's another trade. Like these are literally every single time we touch these levels is a trade. You come up here and you could see that we did not cross. There's a trend trade. It comes up, it closes above. Like take a look at how clean the trend trade is here. Just super, super clean on that trade, right? And you come up, comes up there. Look at the reaction off those levels. And that's what I mean by like very few pieces of software can ever do this. And the reason I is just because I know what it's designed to do. I know the mathematic behind Fibonacci's is I always go back to why do I trust the software? I trust the software because I know that that's 300 days, okay? 10 time frames, 6 levels of fibs. That's critical information for me every time I say, well, why do I want to take the trade? Right? Well, because it has a reason, right? There's a reason to it. Does this make sense, guys? Like, so I really just, I can't stress enough. Like, if you want to only trade the trend, then you trade the trend. Like, this is a pretty big bar. Like, this is a pretty, I'm going to go in here and make it just a little less noise. I'm going to change this to like a 75 tick bar and a 150 tick reversal and a 60 tick offset, right? Let's do that. It should load quick because I've already loaded the data. I just like to show it on range bars, Renko charts, time charts. It don't matter if you trade any market under the sun. It's stocks, futures, forex, crypto, you name it. But like I said, look at the buffer zones on this. So like if I just draw the buffer zones, you can see the big, big levels. So those are 60-minute fib levels. I can promise you we're going to get a reaction out of that level. I already know for a fact we're getting a reaction out of that level. I don't have to think. I don't have to question if it's going to happen. I know it's going to happen. And you have two decisions. You can either take it as a reversal or trade it as a trend. Well, we're pretty extended on the day, right? So trend trading a big, big level like that might not be what you want to do. You might want to trade the trend. Either way, they're two different trades. Does that make sense, guys? And so you can set this up on different time frames. You can set this up on different bar types. You can set this up. Yeah, the EMAs are irrelevant. I mean, you can use whatever EMAs you want to time the entry. If you're interested on that, you could use a Renko flip. Like you could literally just wait for it to touch the level, enter on the flip trade, tight stop. That's a 2-to-1. That's a 1-to-1. That's a huge to one. like like those three trades are off the low, right? So let's just do this. I'll show you here. Let's just continue up. So it came up, it reacted on this. Your entries on the clip, the close, your stop goes below the low. Nice big trend trade. You come back here. I'm going to show you how this works. Come back in. Entries here. Take your short on the reversal. Stop goes above the high. Big, big trade here. Like you'd be making some pretty good money today on this. Entry comes in here, flips off this. Big, big, big trade. See this? Didn't flip here, right? So let's talk about this. Like that's a reversal trade if you choose to reverse trade it. That's an entry, stop loss. That's a 1-to-1 before it came back in, right? And I would wait. If it goes like if I get a trade and it comes back in, right? What I'll do is I'll draw a line around like this and I won't trade until I get outside of that area. Does that make sense? So if I don't keep going and I'm going to keep going, then that's a box for me. I'm going to wait to get outside of the box. Like that's just normally what I wait for. And then the market kind of broke above it, came back down, hit the buffer zone, right? And it stuck around here for a bit, right? Stuck around here for a bit, and then it basically took off, right? So you can see how you want to trade the trend trades. You can choose the reversal trades if you choose to. It's really, really powerful that if you're going to trade trend trade setups, then you're not fading these reversals, right? The market was trending to the upside today. So then you should only be trading long here, long right here, long right here, long right here. Does that make sense, guys? You do not want to be fading. If you're going to fade, fade the big boys, like fade the big reversals, right? Take a look at this trend trade that just came in here as we were talking. Like this is the buffer zone. This is the buffer zone. This is the buffer zone. So what I do is I like to take the entry and I like to use a factor of my targets. If I'm aiming for this and I'm taking a trend trade here, if I'm taking a trend trade here, I'm aiming for this, then I don't like to keep really, really tight stops. Everybody's different. I mean, everybody's going to have their own way of doing it. If I'm going to trade a reversal, I'm going to take a reversal off a key level like this. So what I'd be waiting for is I'd be waiting for price to get up here and then give me a reversal, wait for a liquidity sweep, and then come back down and ride it. Targets here, targets here, targets here. Does that make sense, traders? Like it's really about understanding how to set the software up. And then you only have two decisions ever. Am I trading it as a reversal or am I trading it as a trend? Make sense? You guys want to take a look at oil? You guys want to just gold, the Russell? Let's take a look at GC. Take a look at gold. So let's see what gold did. Remember, I'm using 5-minute levels. Okay. Remember, I'm using a Renko chart and I'm using 5-minute levels. So what I can do, okay, is I can come in here and I can set the software up. Okay, and I don't think gold's a good example because no one can trade it right now, just due to the fact of the margin requirements. But you guys get the point. Remember, I have two levels here. I have the fibs, the big time frames, which gives me the big reversals, and then I have the other fibs. Remember, these are a 5 minute. Maybe I want to use a 15 minute. I don't want to use a five. Maybe I only want to day trade the 15 minute levels. And let's just see what it says. Like I can switch the 15 minute. There it is. And I can go and I could put it to the default. I can make it a little bit easier to see these levels. Take a look at that. Like this is the fun part, right? These are big, big levels, the 60-minute levels, but you can get some pretty sexy reactions on these areas. Like if I come in here and I'm going from area, big, big level down to big, big level, right? I know that if the market's trading lower, that every single fib level to me is a short. It's a short, right? This is a short. If my bias is down, right? If my bias is lower, which I can see that the impulse is down, like that's an impulse leg, right? If I can see the impulse leg come into the day, then every time I get an opportunity, I am going to short, 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 short. Do you understand that? These are crazy accurate when you're on the right side of the market, right? And I mean, you only need a couple good reactions off these levels and you make a really great living as a day trader. Does that make sense? So let's remind ourselves that I've got two instances of the software on here. I don't have to have the 60-minute levels on my chart. I can take it off. Now remember, this is the 15-minute. So now I'm looking at gold on a 75 tick Renko bar, and I'm using a 15-minute fib level, and I can choose to have a lot of them. Watch. I can see tons and tons of trades, or I can become more strict and say, I only want to take the biggest levels on the 15-minute chart. Boom. Make sense? Like that, these are 15-minute confluence levels. And if I have a bias and I'm trying to go lower for the day, then I'm only shorting these on their reversals, right? I'm only shorting these. If I'm going higher, I'm only going long. Now, I think the best way, the way I like to do this is I like to understand what is the chart that I'm trading. So if I'm going to trade on a 5 minute chart or a Renko that's equivalent to a 5 minute chart, then I tend to just take the day trade levels and I will switch it to a 5 minute chart. And then I like to use the 5 minute on the largest settings because it gives me the day trade levels in between and it allows me to see where I'm most likely going to get the reactions on the day trade side. Let's go take a look at crude oil for a second. Oh, that's a stock. That's the wrong one. Let's take a look at CL. Interesting. Give me a second, guys. I'm going to switch it back to a 5 minute chart. There it is. So this is CL on a 5 minute. Okay. So let's just take, like, it doesn't matter which chart you use it on, which day, which time frame. All that matters is that I know that I'm using the 5 minute levels on a 5 minute chart, and I'm using the largest swings that I could use. The strength setting is the largest swings. Okay. If I'm going to trade with the trend, okay, let's just use common sense for a second. If I'm in a trend and I can see the 5 minute trend transition down here, I can see the EMAs are down, just like the longs. The EMAs are up right here. Okay, if I'm going up, I can buy the fibs on the way up. If I'm going down, I can sell the fibs on the way down. It's that simple. If a trend as a trend trader, right? You can literally set this up any way you choose to. If you're going to trade big reversals, like big reversals, I would expect this to be on like a 30-minute chart. 30 minutes. I'm just using an 8 and a 21. Yeah, an 8 and a 21. Yeah, so you can see here that this is the 30-minute levels. And these are 30-minute fib levels, right? On the 30 minutes. I can set this up to be the 60-minute if I wanted to. I could go to the 60-minute, set this up to the 60-minute chart. I don't have enough days loaded on the chart for it to load. I think I need to go back a few days. Let's just do 10 days, see if it works. No, I'm going to do 30 days. Just need a lot more days running the 60-minute. No, I'm going to check with them on that. Either way, let's go back and do that. And there we go. And let's go in here to the indicator settings. I always like to do strategies on stuff like this because I just know where what's possible. Let's just do 30 for a second. Put it back just like that. And you can pull, let's say I want to go to the default. I can go to the default, get me more levels. Yeah. You want to go on a 1 minute chart, Eduardo? Give me a market and a time frame. How about this? Let's do market fire. Market fire, market time frame. Let's do it. Any chart, any time frame, S&P. Boom. First person to say it gets to do it. Okay, we're going to do the S&P 500. Okay, boom. So give me a time frame. ES 1 minute chart. Everyone's traded the S&P on a 1 minute chart. Okay, so let's go down to a 1 minute chart. Boom. Bing, bang, boom. It's super, super easy for this. Okay, now let's do this. This is the S&P today. Okay, so if we're going to trade in the direction of the trend, I just say, well, a lot of people don't know what the trend is. So let's just use common sense here for a second. And let's just change these to like bigger EMAs. Let's go here to like the 20 and let's put this to like the 50 period, and let's put this to the 20 period. Yeah, it's pretty simple. You're on the right side of the 50 and the 20. Yeah. Um, and if you're going to take a trend trade, okay, or if you're really going to be really on the trend and really on the right side, let's just do like the 100 period and the 200. I'll just show you this example because a lot of traders they get screwed around. There it is, right? There's the trend. The trend is up. The 100 period is above the 200 period, so the trend is up for the day on the 1 minute chart. Does that make sense? Like the trend changed here. The whole day, the trend is up on the 100 and the 200 EMAs. Does that make sense, guys? A lot of people think that that's a downtrend. No, that's a pullback in a higher time frame. So if you're trying to figure this out, the 100 and the 200 EMAs are probably going to be your dictator of direction, right? So if you can see here on the 1 minute chart, there was the cross. So from that cross all the way down, you're selling the fib, you're selling the fib, you're selling the fib here, 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 right? You're selling the fib here. Look at that. The trend crossed back down and they came up and they tested that, right? Before they dropped down. They're selling the fib here. Okay. Then the EMA's crossed here. So you're buying the fibs here. You're buying the fibs here. Then the EMA's crossed down here. You're selling the fibs here. You're selling the fibs here. EMA's crossed up to the long side. The whole day, the EMAs were trading to the long side from here this morning at 1 o'clock in the overnight. That's the European Open. Okay. Trend is up. You can buy this here at the top. You can buy this here, buy this here, buy this here. We're closing here. Does that make sense, guys? Like it's really, really, really that clean and that simple. Now I'm using 30-minute levels. I could do the 5 minute, do the 5 minute on a 1 minute chart or even the 15 minute. Like let's do the 15-minute chart for a second. That's a pretty big higher time frame, a 1 minute chart using a 15. And then I can go up here to the strongest levels. Let's hit the largest levels. Get rid of the noise. There it is. Those are the 15-minute levels, the strongest on the 15-minute chart. And I'm using a 1 minute time frame to make sure that I'm trading on the right side of those fibs. That's crazy good. Like clean as clean as clean. Does everybody understand that? Give me a yes if that makes sense to you. Totally. Now, I don't know what you're trading, but I can promise you this. Every one of you has a different way of trading. I promise you that if I lined every single one of you into a stadium in a school and you all set up your laptops, every single trader would have a different looking view of the market. Okay. But I could put this software on every single one of your charts and I can improve everything you're doing. I can explain where you should and shouldn't be trading. I can explain where you should be buying the trend versus where you should be selling it or where you should be doing reversals. This software alone literally is all you need to make a lot of money out of the market. but it's also something that can enhance everything else you're doing. So you have a choice. Do you want to use it as an add-on? Absolutely. Do you want to use it as your own trading system? It's your choice. But both of them are possible. And let's just kind of talk a little bit about what's different here. Why is this so powerful compared to everything else? Well, first of all, it's using math, price, and Fibonacci. It's using multi-timeframes, not your chart data. It's using Confluence, which means 6 measurements of Fibonacci. And you have the ability to control the strength of the software, where a lot of times you're not really in control of the tools that you buy. You have the ability to change this. You also have the ability to see everything in advance. So you are no longer reacting to the market. And it's all automatically doing it for you. Like you don't have to draw anything. You don't have to worry about it being a mistake. The levels are plotting for you. It's easy, it's user proof. And the reason that's important is that most traders, you're plotting your levels incorrectly. I'm not trying to be rude, but like most people are not reading the market correctly. So there's a time consuming process to feed the failure. And most traders are not consistent on day to day because how you do something today may be different than how you do it tomorrow and vice versa. And a lot of times the things that you're doing on the time frames and the markets that you're trading is not reliable. So what I'm here to share with you is that like as a strategy, this is all you need to do. And you can add it to everything on your charts, right? Even if you're trying to enhance what you're doing, you can still make everything better. Does that make sense, traders? Give me a yes at that. That's clean, it's easy, you understand it. Yes? Perfect. I just wanted to give strategy context to the event today because a lot of times we don't do that. And you know what I mean? It's nice to share the strategy with the traders. And so let's bring up the PowerPoint here for a second and let's go back into it. Okay. So we're going to give away a license because we always do and we like to give. It's good to give, right? So Jeff and Pete, you guys are here. Do you have the link? Can we post the link in the chat box for everybody?
Yep, coming up. There you go.
Can everybody see the link? Take the link, fill it up. Okay. Want to make sure we can make sure so everybody can fill in the link there, and then we're going to announce a winner. We want to be able to give away a free license. Did you guys enjoy the event? Fantastic. Great.
Fill those out, guys. Only about 75 people put your
If
info
some,
in so
if I mean,
far.
there's a lot of traders in here, so if you want to win a free indicator, I mean, if you don't, I mean, hey, you can give your vote to somebody else. This is truly a crystal ball, Phil. Yes, yeah. I know that's a dangerous thing to say, but I truly believe in what the software is designed to do. I just under knowing what's under the hood, I know that it's a Ferrari. You're getting the Ferrari for like Civic prices. That's the key here. And we're going to give a huge discount on the launch, and we always do cool deals. But it's very high octane. Yeah, there's a very high octane. Yeah, absolutely. All right. So let's pick a winner here, and let's announce who was the winner.
Okay, the winner is Hugo Valdivia. Hugo C. Valdivia.
Hugo, are you in the house here? You here? Let's see. You won, so let us know you're here, and that way yay, Hugo wins.
There he is.
Everybody give Hugo congratulations. Congratulations, Hugo. It's exciting. It's always cool to win. Yeah, no problem, Hugo. Leave a good review. Go to Trustpilot. Tell everybody we suck. All that fun stuff. Congrats. Perfect. Are you guys okay if we go over pricing now? This is a launch, so we're going to give a lot of discounts here on the launch, and it's very simple to do. We're going to do an AMA tomorrow. So we're going to do an AMA. Everybody's going to be able to participate. Let's talk about pricing, guys, so you guys can be on with the rest of your day and we can get into it. So um, this is not an algo. This is an indicator. It is not designed to be complicated. It is very, very complex, but we have made it very simple. Okay. So there is documentation on it. There is a user guide. You don't have to buy a subscription. It's a one-time purchase. We do have desktops that we've built, and we'll give those out tomorrow in the AMA. If you need help installing it, we will be giving you the strategies. Like, I mean, what we talked about today is the strategies, but we're going to be doing more strategy deep dives tomorrow in the AMA. Tomorrow we have a really, really big webinar going on for this. Jeff is going to be there with the team, so just make sure that if you're getting the software, you show up or at least watch the replay. And we're giving you a massive discount. You're saving $3,700 off the software. So it's $695, right? You can have it on two computers at any given time, a laptop or a desktop or whatnot. And anybody that owned the GoldenFibs from the past on NinjaTrader when we had it, check your inbox because you'll also get a coupon. Does that make sense? So anybody here that you should have gotten an email and a coupon, that way you don't have to pay the full price because obviously we want to give you a deal and we care about, rewarding all of our clients from prior platforms and moving it into Tickblaze is obviously the evolution of our business, but we want to make sure that you guys get the best opportunity as possible, right? So tomorrow the AMA, yeah, an AMA tomorrow. And anybody that's new to Tickblaze, like what is an AMA? An AMA is Ask Me Anything. Our team's going to be there. We're going to be going over the settings. We're going to be going over how to use the software, how to set it up, different market strategies, etc. And then if you're new to Tickblaze, Tickblaze is free. You don't have to worry about paying for the platform. So when you buy apps, you can just download the platform for free. Yeah. Tickblaze Web is set to come out hopefully in April. Amar, yeah, that's the plan. It's a big, big lift. Yeah, absolutely. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up a poll, guys, because I really would like to just know we have to ask this on events because we're going to send strategic emails. If you could please fill in the information. If you are buying the software, please just be honest and let us know. If you're not, type a no if you're not. If you are buying it, put a yes because we want to send specific emails. We have webinar invites, links that have to go out, help guides, AMA details. If you are buying it, please put it in the poll. And if you need assistance or if you have questions or if you'd like to speak with Jeff, just put your phone number in here. But if you are planning on getting the software, then put a yes in the chat box, guys, because we really need to make sure that we know who is buying it. It has a lot to do with our email sequencing and how we send things out to you. Okay. So if you guys could fill out the poll, we've got about 30% is answered. Please answer the poll. It's a yes or a no, guys. It's super simple. Jennifer wants to know when we buy these apps, will they be available on the Tickblaze web? Great question. So our team right now is working on building a solution for code wrappers. What is a code wrapper? Well, Tickblaze Webs, we're using TradingView's charting widgets. And because we're using TradingView, it's written in JavaScript, which is a very different code language than desktop C Sharp. So not all of the things that we do on a desktop application can work on a web platform, right? However, our team is super intelligent and we're really qualified. So what we've done is we may have found a solution that gives us the ability to wrap the code and bring the tools into the web. If we can accomplish that, that would be an epic thing for everybody because we would be the first web platform in the world to be able to bring such sophisticated app technology into the TradingView infrastructure. Normally, you would have to go into TradingView's main platform because they're written into PineScript, but all of the exchanges or the web platforms that use TradingView charts, that's a different coding language. So we're working on that, Jennifer. Great question. Let you know that we're all hands on deck for that. Yeah. Guys, can you please answer the poll? We've got about 50% of you guys have participated. Um, it's a yes or a no. It's super simple. It's a huge deal. You're not going to get this discount again. And TradingView is a different code language sharpshooter. TradingView is PineScript. And any of the B2B widgets that are used for exchanges, like if you go onto Binance or if you go onto crypto.com, like they're using TradingView charts, right? But they're Java. It's all Java. So all of the B2B widgets that are used for B2B licensing deals with TradingView, it's all Java. It's not PineScript. That was a design decision they made to keep everybody in the communities in the platform. Yeah, they created their own code language. And if you don't see the poll, it's because you're probably on a mobile or an app or a Mac or whatnot. And if you don't see the poll, just put a yes if you're buying or an N if you're not buying in the chat box, so we know to pull the attendance records. Yeah. If you don't see the poll, just put a yes or a no inside of the chat box, so we know and we can pull the chat records. That way we know if you are purchasing. Some people may not see the poll. Yeah. Can you guys put your questions in the chat box for me? We'll go over some Q&A now, and then we can break for some much deserved lunch. And no, the platform is free, Deepak. Yeah, Tickblaze is a free platform. We don't charge for the platform. Yeah. Yeah. The apps, we sell the apps in the marketplace, but we don't charge for the platform. Yeah. Very much like MetaTrader or CTrader. Platform's free, but the app stores are purchased. Yeah. So we have a lot of callbacks, Jeff. A lot of people asking questions. So if you could just put your name in or if you can just let people know what to expect.
Sure, just make sure if you put your phone number in and you have some questions, look for my call from a 708 area code. I'll be calling after we're done.
Yeah, Jeff, I actually think that you'll probably want to load this on your charts for the trading room.
Already did this morning. We had a little
Yeah.
teaser of it for my guys.
Oh,
I
this
took
software is
two great
badass.
trades on the market profile charts with the Golden Fibs.
Yeah, the GoldenFibs is the next level shit. Like if I had to be if I was hired as a trade room educator and I could pick one tool for support and resistance in the world, it would be the GoldenFibs. Yeah, myself as a trader. Yeah, I just know what it does. I've seen it years and years and years and years and years of it working. I just know the power of it, right? I've trading supply and demand and SMC and all like that's great. I mean, all of it's great. Not even in the same level as Golden Fibs. Like not even in the same room, right? You've got the kiddie pool and then you've got the big boy pool and then you got the Olympic pool, right? Like this is the Olympic pool. I promise you that. Yeah, Nicholas says market profile and fibs at five. Mark is at 5 minutes. Yeah, that's powerful. They're different, Ron. Different. Ron's asking a great question. You mean they're better than Gamma? Totally different. One is using Fibonacci multi-time frame sequences. One is using options. I wouldn't call them different. I would say that they're in the same category. Yeah, very few tools could say that they're in the same category as Striker. Very few could say that. This is one of them. Yeah. Good comments though. How many of you guys are excited about this? Just type a yes that you're excited to trade on this stuff, because I know for a fact traders are going to make a lot of money using this software. That's a fact. That's what makes my job fun is when I know the tools that really move the needle for the people. And this is one of those ones where we're really throwing it down. Great. Well, traders, like I said, it doesn't get cleaner than that. Clear levels that move the market. And I really hope to see you guys take advantage of it. I hope you enjoyed the presentation. If you have any questions, my team is always an email away. Thank you. And I'm going to go and grab some lunch. So traders have a fantastic day trading. And for those of you that are taking advantage, there is a coupon. Is a coupon? I don't know. Is there a link, Pete, that you're supposed to be posting to purchase here? Can you guys post a few more links in here?
Yeah,
Is
I'll
there a
purchase it
coupon?
again.
Is there a coupon for that? I didn't see a coupon. I think it's just already built into the link, is it not? There's no coupon, Pete, yeah?
No, the only coupons that went out were for people that owned Golden Fibs for ARP.
Yeah. So Pape says, I have the order flow signal pack and striker. If you add the golden fibs with striker combined, Pape would be a crazy combination. Yeah. Renee said, what is the coupon for prior NinjaTrader 8 owners? It should have been emailed to you, Rain. So
Should
just
be an
check your
email.
inbox.
Yep.
Yeah. 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 Okay, traders. That's it. Happy fibbing. Don't fib around. Don't be a fibber. Take care, traders. Enjoy the rest of your day. Trade well, and we'll see you on the charts.